Well, ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to our monthly horoscope for November. And we're going to see how the Vedic sky is going to reveal to us how things are going to unfold. Now, one thing you got to understand about monthly horoscopes, okay? Monthly horoscopes, any prediction made with a monthly horoscope for an individual on this type of a platform is going to be probably 20% accurate to 30% accuracy. Why? Because of the fact you could be in a completely different Mahadasha that may overpower some of the effects of these transits. You may going through some other things like Sadhisati. You may be going through your Dhaya. You may be going through your solar return, Saturn return, nodes return. You may be under the influence of some yoga. So all these things that we see over the transit, it's really for the mundane purposes. And this is where these things are very accurate. For mundane astrology, transits are great to predict how the world governments are going to be, what's going to be happening, in a certain country, because you can get a broad perspective of things. But when you're trying to individualize on a perspective of Aries ascendant or horoscope for Aries, Taurus, Gemini, it's not going to do, it's pretty much, it's going to do something for you. It's not going to do something for you. For the people it does, they're going to agree with this. Remember that. Oh, yes, this happened. You're so right. But other people will be like, no, it not really was what you said. Because everybody's going through such individual energy that these horoscopes for like a monthly horoscope has to be done, probably I would say at least 4 billion times. 4 billion videos have to be made for it to really be accurate. So this is the mundane sense. So obviously, as you know right now, we have a Saturn-Venus conjunction in the sky. And then towards beginning or the second week of November, Venus is going to move into Sagittarius. So what happens in Scorpio? Venus, see, what is Venus, first of all? Venus is our ability to love something to the max. It's our ability to be devoted to something to the max. And it's our ability to create a harmonious environment for us to enjoy life. Okay? So Venus is a very soft planet who just simply wants to enjoy life, love, attain material gains. And that is just one part of the guru. There are two gurus in astrology. Jupiter, the gurus of the Devas, and Venus, the gurus of the Asuras. These are not good or bad things. Never look at the Asura as the bad thing, because without Asura, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. You wouldn't be able to fly to your different city. If it's just the Devas, everything would be in a very natural environment. You'll just be meditating. You will be doing homas and yagnas, connecting to the God, which is great. However, if I took you right now and put you into a jungle, you'll be like, okay, where's my air conditioner? Where's my electricity? Where's my TV and internet? All these things are given by Venus, the pleasure. The things that makes us just feel at ease and comforted. Like right now, it's almost November and it's 42 degrees outside. Well, what keeps me going? It's my heater right there. It keeps me warm. So this is what Venus's position is. Venus wants to be in an environment where it can just not just sustain itself, but create something more. This is why Venus is creativity, artistry. So now you're putting this Venus into this tamasic sign of Scorpio. Tamasic meaning that it reacts on basis of protection, protecting it. When something cannot give, it protects itself. And it's the energy that either goes to the extremes of things or becomes completely dull and lazy. But Scorpio is one sign where Venus's energy turns from devotion to passion and lust. That's what happens with Venus. So if Venus is all about love, just imagine Venus is just love, love, love. In different sign, what is happening is Venus is wearing a jacket. It wears a jacket of Aries. It wears a jacket of Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. So now that love has different phases. Again, it's not good or bad. It's just different phases of Venus. So now Venus is wearing the jacket of Scorpio, which is like, okay, my devotion to you, my ability to love you It's not going to be on the basis of looking at you and giving you this love or being devoted to you, massaging your leg or something. He says, my love is going to be on a very lustful basis, on a physical intimacy basis, intimate basis. I need to have that sexual encounter with you for me to feel that love. So what happens is, when Venus transits the sign of Scorpio, our lustful side comes out. We want to have more sex during this time. And we want to psychologically play mind games in terms of love. So whenever you're in a relationship with someone, and relationship or not marriage, you tend to play more psychological games or get caught up in psychological games, because that's what invokes Venus's energy. Venus becomes obsessed about things that it loves, that is devoted to. And this could be anything. This could be from your spouse to your parents to your children. You're going to be overly protected, because now Venus really feels like, I may lose these things. Because remember, Scorpio is a tamasic sign. It brings this natural fear, because 8th house represents that sudden things. Oh my God, suddenly, what if I lose someone? Oh my God, what if this happens? What if my boyfriend just leaves me? I need to have them now. So that possessiveness becomes very strong whenever Venus transits Scorpio. Our ability to wanting to control things becomes our most devoted nature. Like, we want to control what we have. That's how we devote ourselves to something. I wouldn't want to lose this element of my life. So Venus, what it does, it reacts on the basis, its nature of arts, creativity, love, romance, devotion, acts on a very obsessive and fearful manner. So when something is fearful, it needs everything now. So then what happens is like, oh, I need to have more sex with this person. Now, what if they leave me? I will never have that great sex again. But it's not like you're thinking about these things. It's naturally you're like just more sexual in this period. You want to understand things on a more psychological level. Love on a psychological level. Now, it's with Saturn in Scorpio. Saturn is quite polar opposite of Venus. It's not about devotion. It's not about love or romance. It's just about work. It's about duty, commitment, discipline, structure, organization. So here, Venus, ability to love and be devoted to something, is coming with hard lessons. Venus needs to be restrained. So what happens is when Venus and Saturn are conjunct, there's this natural frustration comes into play, because you want that lustfulness, right? That sexual empowerment. But you're not getting that because Saturn is resisting it in Scorpio. Saturn is saying, no, you got a boundary. If you're with me, I don't care if you're my best friend. You're just going to have to be controlled. You're going to have set boundaries to yourself. So, and also because Saturn naturally is the god of the dark world, here Venus finds more passion towards understanding the hidden knowledge, sacred knowledge, occult, mysticism, researching into things, researching into DNA, researching into, all things. So you will understand in this time period, with people who may have this Venus transiting in their 8th house from the ascendant or the moon, maybe more devoted towards researching and not devoted mainly towards love and lust. They may feel restrained from it. So this is how you want to understand it. So depending upon what ascendant and what moon sign you have, just look at the placement of Scorpio and just imagine Venus and Saturn sitting there. And obviously, if you do not know what your ascendant is, what your moon sign is, all the other astrological details, for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, Aspects, and Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all the consultations at this link. So when you see your chart, see where the sign of Scorpio is. And from that perspective, you can understand which part of the house, which part of the sign is going to feel this energy of lustful devotion, obsessive devotion, but finding a restraint from it. But this is not for long. I mean, it's going to move into the sign of Sagittarius, where finally Venus is going to be about devotion to the higher self. Because remember, Sagittarius is a fire sign. It's the Dharma triangle. It's a Dharma sign. So Venus does very well in Sagittarius. Venus finds more devotion love and romantic encounters with higher philosophy, higher knowledge, being in the presence of a guru. So, romance is like us having just creative fun. That's what really romance is. When you have a romantic encounter with someone, you're just being very creative and you're involved in them. Romance is involvement. You know how you're involved with your children. That's why it's a fifth house. Being in Sagittarius, romance comes from learning more. And because originally Sagittarius represents the ninth house, Venus will be devoted towards understanding people of different cultures, different ethnic background, different indigenous groups, people who are living far away. So usually you'll notice Venus in Sagittarius, these people, especially women, will be more interested towards being with somebody of a different culture or ethnic background, somebody who's highly educated. So our devotion will be in terms of understanding and broadening our horizons. Okay, then you also have Mars going from Sagittarius to Capricorn. Last video I covered what Mars is doing in Sagittarius, right? And Mars is devoted. Mars is disciplined in Sagittarius. He says, this is my belief system and this is what I want to do. I don't care what anybody else thinks of it. This is what my decision that I made. Because Mars is a hard-headed planet. It uses its brains, but it uses its brain in a black and white form. Either it's right or it's wrong. Because look, Mars is a fighter. Mars is a fighter. Mars is not going to be fighting on basis of, well, I think they are wrong, but also I think they're right in their ways, but still I'm going to go kill them. That's not how Mars operates. Mars needs to know, is this my enemy or not? If it's not my enemy, I'm not going to kill them. But if it's my enemy, I am going to go after them. There's no neutral between Mars. Mars cannot decide between black, white, and gray. Mars either sees black or sees white. And depending upon that, it makes that decision. So that belief system was like, okay, either it's black decision or white decision. That's it. And now it's moving to its highest of self, to the sign of Capricorn, where Mars is able to go into the jungle, because Capricorn represents the jungle, and just take care of everybody. This is where the Mars gets the order to go out and take the army and be the general it was supposed to be. This is why Mars is exalted, because Capricorn is what? Think about Capricorn. Not the sign itself. What is original form of Capricorn? Capricorn is the original 10th house. What is the 10th house in Vedic astrology? The house of karma. And it's not your, let me see here. See, I have to always get my notes out. Okay. So, so 10th house is the Kiyaman karma. Not Sanchita, not Prarabdha, Kiyaman karma that you do now. And it's also actually known as, because I gotta remember these names. It's Agni and Kiyaman. See, my brain I have to take a karmic word or one word, write it 10 times for me to just understand that in my brain. Because I keep forgetting them. There's so much knowledge in astrology that I actually have cheat sheets sitting on my desk. When I need to know something, so it's there. But obviously you should remember. But Capricorn becomes that action that you do now, that your free will wants you to do now. So this is where, what is Mars? Mars is action. And this is why Mars is neutral to Saturn. They're not enemies. Mars, Saturn are not really enemies. They're only enemies in certain situations. During a certain degree of conjunction, or depending upon if Mars holds the lowest degree, highest degree, what's the orb of the conjunction, or during how far away they are from each other. Are they 3 places away, or are they more than 3 places away? That's when they really become that enemy form. But right now Mars respects Saturn, because Mars is like, wow, you are allowing me to follow my karma. So you're going to see a lot of people really wanting to, okay, I need to achieve my goal. Let me do it now. Now is the time for me to take action. You'll be put into action in Mars and Capricorn time period. And it's again a tamasic planet in the tamasic sign, which does very well. Because it finds the ability to protect. It finds the ability to end things, to destroy things. And destroy, oh, that's bad. No, it's not. If nothing was destroyed, you would probably won't have space to even live. There would be 50, 60 billion people living on this planet, and your houses would be quarter of the size they are right now. Because people die, because things get destroyed, new things are built, and so you have more space. You need space. That's why Shiva is there. Shiva destroys it because new things need to come out. And then obviously you have Sun in Libra right now till November 15th. And what happens is Sun's energy, Sun is our soul, right? Our Atma. And what happens is on the horizon plane, if this is the horizon plane, throughout the year, Sun goes up, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo. And then by Virgo, it starts to descend down. This is where the cold weather comes into play. So Libra is that arc where Saturn sits or Sun sits. And this is where the king feels at the lowest. But is it really low? See, Sun likes to be in Aries because it wants to give orders. If Sun likes a Monet painting, a Michelangelo painting, he'll be like to his cabinet members, guys, go out and get that Monet painting. I like it. I want to have it. Please go get it. Okay, so Sun gets it. In Libra, what Sun has to do, it has to make the painting itself. Either he has to go out and negotiate it himself in the marketplace that, look, I'm the king. You're selling it for $1,000. I'll pay you $400 for it. Give it to me. And if the other person says no, the Sun will feel disrespected. Like, oh my God, how did you say no to me? I'm the king. But then how can you get rid of that ego in Libra? Well, instead of wanting that painting, create that painting. So Sun energy rises up when you do creative things. Why is Libra sign of creativity, not just a sign of relationship, marriage, unionship? Because it is the Mool Trikon sign of Venus. What is Venus? Venus is a significator of relationship, unionship, love, romance, but it's also the karka of creativity, arts, media, cinema. So when you're sitting in the Mool Trikon sign of a planet, it calls itself its home. Don't you think you're going to feel creative besides just creating relationships? So this is the time where a creative soul comes out. Instead of the egotistical soul that wants to be the leader, that wants to get all the praises and fame, it wants to simply do creative things now. That's all it is. So now there's a time for doing creative, artistic things in your life. Now is a time to go out there, go on dates, meet new people. If you've been single, Sun in Libra is actually the most powerful time to find your soul mate. Why soul mate? Sun is the soul. Libra is about mating. So you want to find your soulmate? Try to find them now. Go, if you haven't gone out, go out to lounges, sign up on dating matrimonial websites. See if you find these people. And obviously Jupiter is in the sign of Virgo. Obviously it's square from Mars, which naturally shows that there is this energy of just doing the work. Right now there's no thinking with Jupiter. Right now it's doing the work because Jupiter and Mars are square to each other, meaning Kendra. See, a square sounds like the most of the Western terms, right? The square and trines. No, but in Vedic astrology too, Kendra from each other, Trikon from each other. Trikon supports. Kendra energizes. Regardless if it's your enemy or not, whenever planets are Kendra from each other or in Kendra houses, 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th, they always energize each other to work. There's this friction. And friction causes what? Movement. Trikon is more of this friendly devotion. Like, yes, you can do it. I'm here for you. What do you need from me? So, but also trikon, if it's with the enemy sign, then one's education, ability to learn more about who they are, gets blocked to a certain time. So right now, this Mars-Saturn square or Mars-Jupiter square is all about just work. Jupiter, the guru, is not thinking. Jupiter, the guru, is working. Like he's working on his syllabus. He's working on his, his homework for the students. He's not thinking and meditating about God and thinking about the lessons that he needs to teach a student in a very divine manner. No, Jupiter's about, okay, I already did all that. Now I need to work. I need to create this homework and these lessons for everybody. It's so funny I say that because I'm creating lessons for my online school. This is going to be opening up next year. It's going to be a automated form of online school with presentation, PDF presentation, audio, and video and visual. So when you are there, you were like, okay, now I understand this. I'm gonna bring in teachers too. I'm gonna teach as well, but that's gonna come much later on because it's gonna be it's like iPhone 1, right? There's a huge difference between iPhone 1 and iPhone 7. That's how it starts on the basic level, then it increases. Remember, my goal is to create a planetarium, the world's most beautiful, unique astrology school. That's my ultimate goal, but I have to start out at iPhone 1. I can't go to iPhone 10. Okay, so these are the basic alignments that are happening, and obviously Rahu Ketu are in, Leo and Aquarius points, and I've already explained what these points are. But Rahu, Ketu are square from Saturn right now till January 20th. January 17th or 20th, one of those dates. And so with Rahu, Ketu being square from Saturn, shows again that one's being forced to take action, to work towards their karmas. If Mars and Jupiter square is motivating me to do, Kamini karma. See, again, I keep forgetting these names of karmas. Oh my God, I'm so bad. Agami and Kriyaman. Okay, Agami and Kriyaman karma. If Jupiter and Mars are making you do Kriyaman karma, that just comes from within. Like, I want to do this. Where Mars, Ketu, and Rahu square from each other are bringing Sanchita karma. Prarabdha karma. Karma that you must, pay for now. And luckily, because of the fact Saturn is now about to leave and go into the sign of Sagittarius, literally within like 2 months. Saturn's most effective way of giving karma is always before the 25th degree of its sign. So it's now slowly coming to a point where it's like, okay, I'm ready to go into the next phase of my existence. But Rahu, Ketu nodes are right now all about creative self-expression. It's all about paying our dues to our ancestors. Because especially in November, I believe it's going to come into the nakshatra of Magha, where you're going to be really devoted to how your ancestors were. Whatever your ancestors were doing, you're going to take that work and you're still going to start completing that. So let's say from November onwards, if you suddenly take up a new hobby, new interest, you open up a non-profit organization, something, it's not you, it's your ancestors giving you those ideas through the astral plane, through the Wi-Fi connection, that, hey, you must do this now. I'll cover that when it comes into because those are very important nakshatras. Magha and Sattabhishak. This is where our spiritual pendulum door opens up. Okay, so guys, this was my monthly horoscope for November. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I think I was actually quite passionate about this because this is something, I realize that when I start talking about planets and all that, I actually get into the passionate mode about wanting to make you guys understand as to what's happening. So hey, this was actually great. Can't wait to make my December horoscope. All right, guys. See you later. Bye-bye. And and I'll say, you might be wondering, why am I not covering Moon? See, the thing is, Moon's going to move. Moon's going to move to the next sign just tomorrow. So for me to use Moon in these monthly horoscope is not really feasible. It's just, I have to make a separate video just for moon, what it's gonna do in this, which is really on a very minute basis, right? So if you're new to my channel, subscribe below, subscribe to my original channel, KRS channel, and check out my website where all the material is. Bye-bye.